City Hall in the Mayor's reception room. I'm joined with, to my far left, Matt Gallagher, the city's Corporation Counsel, the Deputy City Clerk, Mike Spano. We also have the Deputy Corporation Counsel, Advocacy, who's with me. Today, this is a public hearing for local law number 10-2022. Today's date is Friday, December 2nd. In the year 2022 is now 5:02 p.m. I ask that the clerk please read the public hearing notice.
Thank you, Mayor. This is a public hearing notice. Notice is hereby given pursuant to law that the Mayor of the City of Yonkers, New York, will hold a public hearing on Friday, December 2nd, 2022 at 5 p.m. Mayor's reception, second floor, 40 South Broadway, Yonkers, New York, to hear all interested parties and citizens regarding the adoption of the following local law to wit. A local law amending Chapter C, Article 2 of the Charter of the City of Yonkers entitled Officers in relation to term limits. Said hearing may be adjourned from time to time as necessary. Further information, including access to a copy of said proposed local law, may be obtained at the City Clerk's office, City Hall, 40 South Broadway, Yonkers, New York, and on the city's website. This was signed by Mayor Spano on November 23rd, 2022.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Clerk. He read the notice and also has reaffirmed to us that it was published in 2 of the local newspapers of record, the Yonkers Residents and the Journal News. So the matter is here and properly before us. I turn it back to the Deputy City Clerk.
Thank you, Mayor. Firstly, I just want to welcome you all to our historic City Hall. And as the Mayor said, my name is Mike Romandelli. I'm the Deputy City Clerk, and I will be announcing tonight's public hearing. Thank you for coming out this evening so that you may be heard in regards to the proposed legislation. As you can see, we have several speakers here this evening. So in the spirit of fairness and decorum, we have some ground rules. Firstly, I will be calling out a block of 5 names to give speakers time to get ready to deliver their remarks. Then I will call out the person's name whose time it is to speak. I apologize beforehand if I mispronounce your name. So before delivering your remarks, please state your name. Speakers will be given 2 minutes each. A buzzer will sound to indicate the completion of your 2 minutes. Please be respectful to the others here tonight, and please complete your comments within the 2 minutes allotted. A person who signed up to speak cannot yield his or her time to another speaker. Once you've completed your remarks, please leave the Mayor's reception room to make room for other speakers who have signed up. There is an audio of this hearing available in the ceremonial courtroom on the 4th floor. Please note, the Mayor is here to listen only. He will not be responding to your comments and or taking questions. We ask that you keep your comments to the proposed legislation that brought us here tonight. Please do not use your comments to wage personal attacks. Please be respectful of other speakers. Therefore, we ask that there be no outburst. If there's an outburst, we will ask you to leave. Please note that signs and banners are prohibited as they obstruct the view of others in attendance. Again, we want to thank you all for coming out tonight to be heard. Mayor, tonight's first speaker is Fernando.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor, panel. My name is Fernando Pino, and for the past 53 years, I've been a resident of the city of Yonkers. I'm very proud, coming from Portugal, to say Yonkers is my home. I'm here to support the extension of term limits for the mayor and the council members for the next elections. Then, during the election process, let the people, let the voters of Yonkers speak and decide whom to elect. I fully support Mayor Mike Spano to continue leading the city of Yonkers on the right track of proven results like progress, safety, schools and education, housing, development, recreation, environment, etc. So let's have Mayor Mike Spano for 4 more years. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you.
The next group of speakers, or the first group of speakers rather, will be Jay McLean, Michael Hanbury, Kerry Timmons, and Mark Marazino.
As a resident of the city of Yonkers, I'm urging the mayor to sign this bill extending term limits into law. Residents like myself still hold the key to anyone seeking another term if they revoke. The city of Yonkers has seen tremendous progress under your leadership and that of the city council members, even during the pandemic. I think we should give our elected officials the opportunity to continue this progress, and good luck.
Mayor, the next speaker is Michael Hanbury. Can someone confirm whether Mr. Hanbury is here to speak?
I'm assuming we'll roll back at the end.
Yeah. Okay.
So if we don't catch the person now, at the end, we'll roll back those names. So.
In that case, the next speaker is Kerry Timmons.
He might be upstairs. I don't know. He's
Is it
Do we have somebody chasing for us upstairs that they could let us know?
John, do you have a John?
Mark Marafino? We'll just, we'll give those signals out.
I thought we were going to, just in the interest of time, I thought we were going to try to bring them down here.
That's our favorite.
You know, that's why you know.
Mike Hanbury.
Just
Hanbury,
did you
Michael Hanbury?
Did you hear the rules?
Yes. Hello, Mr. Mayor. My name is Michael Hanbury. I've been a Yonkers resident all my life, for 35 years. I am in support of you extending your term limits and getting another 4 more years. Under your leadership, the city has seen great progress. You've achieved many things like creating MGM to the racetrack. You've also brought Lionsgate in. Since you've been in office, you've increased school funding every year. They're also opening the first new school in 25 years. I believe that the city right now has great momentum, and I believe that when you have momentum, you shouldn't really change things, and you should keep the momentum going for the city. And I would love for you to stay in office. Thank you very much.
That's Kerry Timmons here.
Good evening. My name is Kerry Timmons. I'm 62 years old. I live on Shipman Avenue in Yonkers. My family's been in Yonkers well over 100 years. My great-grandfather had a barber shop on Plain Avenue by St. Barnabas Church. Had a little house on street just behind McLean. And My uncles and grandfathers all went to World War II from that house, so all returned home safely, thankfully. So my family's been a big part of this community for many, many years. As far as term limits go, I think not only should they be extended, I think they should be abolished altogether. To have a man like Mr. Spano, who's done amazing things for our community and for the city, to after just a certain period of time to say, too much good has been done, we don't want him anymore. It's, Mr. Mayor, you're not a monarch, you're not in an appointed position, you're still subject to an election. And the voice of the people should be heard, and I think term limits are not serving to our community. And I just wish you could stay around as long as possible. I'll be back here in 4 years to get you another 4. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Is Mark Matapino or Sino?
Tarantino. Good afternoon. How you doing? My name is Mark Tarantino. I've been a lifelong resident of Yonkers for 33 years, and I've seen the good and bad in Yonkers, and ever since you stepped in, you've done a phenomenal job in Yonkers. Has been on the incline. You've done a phenomenal job with the school system, the firefighters, and it just shows that you have a great heart. You show up to all fundraisers. Any type of event that is there, you're there, and you're there for all the support, and it just shows what kind of person you are and what good hearted man you are. I am wholeheartedly all in favor of this extension for the term limits. I would definitely approve another 4 years. There's no reason to fix something that isn't broken. So, with that, I think you guys let me talk and speak. Thank you.
So the next group of speakers will be Walter Lipscomb, Margaret Fountain Coleman, Maria Padilla, and John Dowd. So we'll wait for those speakers to make their way to the podium. Again, Walter Lipscomb. All right, for those of you who are viewing either on the live stream or any other way, we do have a delay of those who are in another room who will be coming into this room. So we do have John Dowd in the committee.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for taking the time to hear us. My name is John Dowd, and I was born and raised in the city of Yonkers, and the city I grew up in is better than ever. Under the leadership of Mayor Mike Spano, the city of Yonkers and its residents has seen incredible progress during Mayor Spano's tenure. He's increased school funding each year. The city has experienced an economic surplus over it. He's made Yonkers one of the safest cities by working hand in hand with our police department, and, not to mention, has shielded us, the third largest city in New York State, from the COVID-19 pandemic. The referendum for term limits that was passed 20 years ago is simply outdated. This referendum doesn't reflect the opinion that me and many voters and the residents of Yonkers have today. If this legislation is passed, each elected official would still need to make their case to the public by running a traditional campaign. Mayor Spano is an absolute necessity to the city, and due to this, I urge the council to pass this local law amending term limits and allowing Mayor Spano to run again. Thank you for your time.
So is Walter Lipscomb in the room?
Yeah.
Followed by Susan McAnama.
Good evening, everybody. Okay, my name is Walter Lipscomb. I'm with Community Voices Heard. Okay, like the name on the term. Okay, whatever, but I'm here because this decision that y'all are making and one that y'all made last time, okay, done right after the election, which it should have been to me. I feel it should have been on the ballot. Okay? Because me as a constituent, I feel as though my city council members turn their back on it. As a voter, I'm obsolete. Okay? Because that's not a decision for the city council. Okay? It's a decision for the people, to be honest. Okay? But like I said, I commend you on your job in office. Okay? Good bit. Okay? But 8 consecutive years is 8 consecutive years. 12, when you threw that in right after the election, they came and they brushed it. Wasn't supposed to be nothing that was done in 5 days, 7 days, or whatever. So I feel violated. As a voter, as a constituent, I'm 66 years old. I'm beyond a lifetime resident. And I feel as though you're just totally disregarding my rights as a voter. I vote since I'm 18 years old. Okay? And so, what am I voting for? Okay? So, my rights, I feel violated. I just felt as though I had to come in and share that with you, because that a vote of this magnitude is not up to the city council, it's up to the voters. And on election day, that should have been put on the ballot, not after election day. And then we rushed through it, and then 8 days later, and to me, it's a bogus vote, okay? But I feel violated as a voter and a constituent. Thank you. Have a good night.
So the next speaker is Susan McAnana, followed by Margaret Fountain Coleman, followed by Amiria Padilla, followed by Richard Schiavone.
Do you mind if I have one of these?
Sure.
Thank you. It's hot upstairs.
And do you just say your name when you come to the podium? Thank you very much.
My name is Susan McAnana. I've been a Yonkers resident for only 10 years, so I haven't been around that long. But a friend of mine, Kisha Skipper, was unable to attend tonight, and I am going to read her statement, if that's okay. Regrettably, I am unable to attend today's public hearing to express to you in person my opposition to the legislation revising the charter to extend term limits. This communication represents my personal position and not that of any organization with which I may be affiliated. I respectfully ask that you veto the aforementioned legislation in the same manner in which you vetoed the proposed housing ordinance that was introduced earlier this year. You have gone on record stating you would not support an ordinance that required 20% of units set aside as affordable, and you have stood firmly in that position. Even those of us who disagree with your position cannot deny that you have been consistent, Mayor Spano. There was disappointment but no surprise when you vetoed the council's legislation to increase the affordable housing ordinance. In the same manner, you have gone on record stating many times that you would not run for a 4th term, and I'm simply petitioning that you stand firm in that position by vetoing the legislation and removing the possibility of a re-election bid for a 4th term and other elected officials also. Your veto of this legislation will show the residents of our city that you are a man of your word and that you have true interest in being on the right side of this issue and history. Thank you in advance for your time and attention. Kisha Skipper. Thank you.
Thank you, Sue.
Next speaker is Margaret Fountain Coleman, followed by Amira Padilla.
Good evening, Margaret Fountain Coleman. The people spoke in 1994 and again in 2001. The will of the people spoke. However, you chose, or you are choosing once again, you chose in 2018 to take the power from the will of the people and change the terms of the charter. And now again, we are here in 2022 performing the same miscarriage of democracy. We are fully aware that this legislation will be signed off and Yonkers will move into being a more divided community where the will of the people, those who undergird this city, are held in no regard to be heard. The will of the people should not be considered by a person's zip code or economic status. The will of the people should be the collective mass, and the only way to ensure equitability in this determination is at the ballot box, which is a fair assessment of the people's voice. This move by our political leaders lacks fairness, good governance, and justice for all people. So I ask you, Mr. Mayor, that you veto the legislation and allow this to go to the voters. Have a good night.
The next speaker is Maria Padilla, followed by Richard Schiavone. The next group of five will be Raymond Tabano, Angela Lasarosa, Mr. Raba, Rochelle Raba, Otenio Rodriguez, and Ramona Terrero. They may be coming down from upstairs. You come on up and speak. Sure. Just state your name.
Good evening. My name is Ricky Schiavone, born and raised in Yonkers. Lived here my entire life. 40 years old, and I've never seen a mayor that cared did so much for his city as Mayor Spano. With that being said, I am in support of the extension of the term. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Everybody got a guitar for us?
Hello, Mayor. Mr. Mayor, Your Honor. The City Council, people, thank you for your service to the city. My name is Raymond Tabano. My family moved here in 1962. I married and moved away, but I came back to Yonkers in 1983, and I've been here ever since. I own a home at the Winchester Village area. I've ran a successful business here for many, many years. I see many mayors undergoing this town. But I gotta say that Mayor Mike Spano, this guy never says no. You call on him, and he's there for you all the time. I've been working on him for the last 5 years with the Disabled American Veterans, and he's been supporting us all the way. The town, our city is a lot better because Mayor Mike Spano is here. And I asked that the City Council approve an extension. Like one of these fellows that was here before me said, if it's not broke, don't fix it. And I think that the city is working along pretty good right now, and it's mostly due to Mayor Mike Spano's effort and his heart, because he's a good man, and he's looking to make the city better, and he has made the city better. And I'm asking the City Council to go right ahead and give this guy an extension, because we need this fellow here when we don't need him. Thank you very much.
Good evening, Mayor Spano. My name is Ingrid Padilla. As a Latina voter of the city of Yonkers, I'm here tonight to urge you to sign the local law recently approved by the Yonkers City Council in relation to the term limits. Mr. Mayor, your administration is doing an excellent job for our residents, and it needs to continue. Thank you very much.
Angela Lasorsa, Rosha Raba,
Dear Mayor and Administration, I am here in support of extending term limits.
excuse me, I'm sorry, can you just state your name, please?
Angela Lacerza. I grew up here and seen the city change. I've seen the city flourish under Mayor Spano. Yonkers was once associated with terms such as Ghetto Square, to now being referred to as Hollywood on the Hudson. Under Mayor Spano, Yonkers has a bright future, open with endless possibilities and opportunities. But Yonkers will have an uncertain future under a different administration. Yonkers has improved in all phases of city life, from economics and development to education and reputation. For these reasons, I am asking for the privilege of deciding who my next mayor is at the ballot box, not by imposed term limits, but through acknowledgement of good work and success. I trust Mayor Spano, and I know he will do what is best for Yonkers. Please support extending term limits. Thank you, Mayor Spano, and to his administration for what you guys have accomplished.
Thank you, Angela.
Rocha Raba, please.
Good evening. My name is Roger Rabo. Mayor Spano, a big part of the Democratic Republic is the ideal of a representative government that is tasked with making choices that benefit everyone in the community. You have the power to choose for us. If the governor can run without term limits, why can't our local elected officials? I ask that you pass the extending term limits. I'm sure most voters will be happy to support the current positive direction the city is going and support the current city council and Mayor Spano. Thank you.
Thank you.
Daniel Rodriguez, followed by Winona Terrero.
Good evening, Mayor Mike Spano. As a resident of the city of Yonkers, a product from Yonkers Public, first generation of Dominican American, I'm here today to urge you to sign the local law recently approved by the City Council in relation to term limits. Once again, I urge you to sign the bill in front of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ramona.
Buenas tardes, señor Mayor. Mi nombre es Ramona Terrero, líder del distrito del Partido Demócrata y resido en Yonkers por 30 años. Mis hijos y mis nietos son de Yonkers. Amamos esta ciudad y su gente. Le pido que firme la legislación para extender los términos de tiempo. Estoy de acuerdo por varias razones. Primero, el crecimiento de negocios y empleos en Yonkers. Segundo, el trabajo que hizo el alcalde Mike Spano en la época de la pandemia con el COVID-19. Fue excelente. La administración siguió trabajando, coordinando con otras agencias y organizaciones en la prevención y reducción del contagio. También los estudiantes continuaron estudiando en sus casas con computadoras provistas por el alcalde Mike Spano. Veo las noticias llenas de violencia y doy gracias a Dios que en Yonkers tenemos paz. No es lo mismo en el Bronx, Manhattan, Brooklyn y Queens. Aquí aún podemos salir sin temor. Apoyo que el alcalde le ha dado, me siento muy satisfecha por el apoyo que el alcalde le ha dado a la policía por nuestra seguridad. Soy una persona mayor y mi prioridad es la seguridad y el alcalde se ha preocupado porque nosotros los civiles estemos seguros. Muchas gracias, Mayor. Gracias por darme esta oportunidad.
Thank you, Ramona.
Jamie Terrero, followed by Claudia Espinoza, Christopher Natal, Raymond Tabano.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor. My name is Jamie Terrell, and I will keep my speech short because the change over the past few years has been evident. I was born and raised in Yonkers, and as a mother and concerned citizen, I asked you to sign the legislation to extend term limits for the city elected officials. I have witnessed how our city has evolved, and I would like for our city to continue evolving. Thank you for the opportunity to speak, and good night.
Thank you.
Claudia Espinoza.
He's up there. He's on right now. Now I call him.
Christopher Natal, Raymond Tabano.
He's good. Raymond Tabano.
so you guys know the system.
We'll call another,
The names are called, the people are waiting upstairs. They are
Judith.
called in blocks of 5, and they come down and wait to speak.
Deshawash, Diego Pereira, Pedro Torres, Victor Romero.
Nice to see you here, Angelique. Nice to see you.
So we're waiting on Claudia Espinoza, followed by Christopher Baker.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor. Good evening, everyone. My name is Claudia Espinoza. I come before you tonight to ask, first of all, as a Latina, let me not forget that, as a Yonkers resident, as a concerned taxpayer, as a property owner, and as a district leader for Yonkers Democratic Party, to request that you signed the legislation to extend the term limits for the city elected officials. In the past decade, Yonkers has evolved as a city. The progress is evident, and we cannot afford to lose momentum. We need this administration. Do not, for any minute, think that we don't need you. We need this administration to continue creating jobs, to generate more revenue, so that the services provided to Yonkers residents do not fall on the back of the taxpayers alone. Our Congress, our Senate, our Assembly do not have term limits. Let's extend the term limits and continue working for a better Yonkers. I would personally ask you to please sign it into law. That would benefit all of us. That would benefit the city of Yonkers. That would be giving the city of Yonkers a chance, not only to be the third largest city in the state, but also to be a city that we can all continue to be proud of. Thank you so much for the opportunity to speak. Have a wonderful night.
Thank you, Claudia.
Hello, good evening. My name is Christopher Mateo. I've been a Yonkers resident since 2005. I attended school in the city, and most recently I've become a homeowner in 2021. All of my relatives reside in Yonkers. Not only does Mayor Spano show support to the city's school system by continually increasing their funding, but he also shows support to our underprivileged communities, support our police officers, firemen, teachers, and every essential worker that keeps the city safe and thriving. Mayor Spano is a big part of our democratic republic and is the ideal representative that should be tasked with making choices that benefit everyone in the community. If the governor can run without term limits, why can't our local elected officials do the same? I ask that you pass the extending term limits and let voters decide. Thank you.
Mr. Matei.
Judith,
That's me.
Judith, if you could just please pronounce your name.
Okay, I'm Judith Yudowski, lived most of my life in Yonkers. This is not about Mayor Spano or any person in particular. This is about the core of the American free republic. Citizen legislators who work a job, run a business, served in the government for a couple of years, then go home and live under the taxes and regulations that they have put on us. Many of us can't afford to live here anymore because the taxes go up all the time. You've shown you don't care what we think. We voted for term limits twice. You ignored them, went over them, and now you want to do it again. Then what, 4 years we do it again?
I will close with the words of Mark Twain. Politicians and diapers should be changed often and for the same reason. No malice intended.
Thank you.
Diego Pereira.
Hello, good evening. My name is Diego Pereira. I'm a resident of Yonkers for the past 25 years, and I am in favor of extending the term limits. Mayor Mike Spano genuinely cares about Yonkers and its residents. What he has done for Yonkers is absolutely amazing. I can't think of a better person to run this city other than Mayor Mike Spano. Thank you.
Pietro Torres. Followed by Victor Romero.
Pietro Torres. I also go by the name of Peter. And good evening, everyone. Ask not what the city of Yonkers can do for you, but what you can do for the city of Yonkers. This great administration and its hard work and sacrifice, you can see it all over the place. And I'm all for extended service term and Mike Spano and his administration. Thank you.
Victor Romero. Followed by Constantine.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Victor Romero.
Mr. Romero, I'm sorry, just give me a second. Followed by Constantine Bonus, please.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Victor Romero. I have been a resident of Yonkers for 52 years. I have lived through several mayors throughout my residency, but none more reliable and more passionate about serving the people of Yonkers than our mayor, Mike Spano. That is why tonight I am here asking that you all vote for 4 more years. Under his leadership, the city has grown. Even throughout our pandemic, the city has thrived and grown. Please, 4 more years. Thank you.
Thank you, Victor. Constantine Bonus, followed by Azim Al-Jawad. Jerry Wallace. Are there other speakers who will be coming down from upstairs? Because we only have a few, so we might as well bring anyone who's here to speak in.
Those are the last three.
Those are. It's Jenai Wallace, please.
She's up.
Okay. We'll just wait for whoever. Folks, we're just going to wait for those who are in another room to come down to us. And so we'll just stay on pause until that time.
Constantine's here.
Mr. Morris, if you could just state your name and take your comments, please.
Good afternoon. My name is Constantine Bonus. I'm a resident of Yonkers for 20 years and a business owner. The mayor has done a wonderful job and I think we should continue. So I'm in favor of extending the term limits. Thank you.
Janai Wallace, please.
The next one.
Hazen. If you could just pronounce your name, I'm sorry about
Sure.
that.
Hazen Eliezer. Good evening, everyone. My name is Hazen Eliezer. I have been a resident of Yonkers for 19 years. Mayor Spano, you don't need my testimony, but you've been doing a great job. I'm not going to go through Mayor Spano's accomplishments, since they are well documented. Mayor Spano, I'm here to urge you to sign
the special ordinance extending term limits into law. I'm also here to convince you to run for mayor. Managing the third largest city in your state is not easy. It's a responsibility, not a privilege. You're on call 24/7. Yet we have a mayor who is happy to serve Yonkers, and we have a mayor who's actually very good at it and willing to do it again. I say let's take the lead before he changes his mind. We're winning now, and we have been for the past 11 years. We want more winning for Yonkers and more greatness. With term limits, we are limiting Yonkers. Mayor Spano is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Another term is a must for Yonkers. Thank you.
Thank you.
Janai Wallace.
I'm a bit short, so I don't know if you can see me. I'll take it off. Okay. I came here to speak tonight because I remember a Yonkers from way back when I was 14 that was left to be the ghetto of Westchester. Nobody cared about Yonkers. I've seen a lot of mayors come and go. Mike Spano has been the only mayor that has actually pushed Yonkers forward and revitalized the city and saw what Yonkers could be and made it into that. I want the opportunity to vote for the mayor that I feel is best for Yonkers and for my family. I'm not asking that Mayor Spano be ushered in to another term. I'm saying, give me the opportunity to vote for him and give everyone the opportunity to vote for who they want to vote for. And I think that would be fair. I think that there's too many people in the city who feel the same way I do. And shutting the door on our feelings by not extending term limits will only hurt Yonkers and the momentum that we can continue. Thank you.
Thank you, Joanne.
Kumi Owen. Kumi Owen?
She's on her way back, okay. She went out, she's coming down. That's the last speaker in the ceremony board.
All right, we're told that Kumi is on the way down. We just wait.
You good?
My name is Kumi Owusu. Great evening, Mayor Spano. I'm not sure who else I'm speaking to, but I'm sure your fans are finally happy to see you. I wrote something down because I may never get to speak, a chance to speak at this again. Because of how you have proven that you don't have to be present, and apparently when the decision is already made, the supporters don't have to show up either. You allowed an issue about human rights to be about you when you neglected your council and constituents and have failed to communicate effectively at all. If you have so much faith in the love of the people that have expressed for you and your mission of gentrification, given the appropriate time for this to be discussed and understood and okayed by the city of Yonkers should not have been a problem because they would have heard the benefit for them. For lack of that, you have failed. And you should be embarrassed that you have let your people go so uneducated and neglected for so long. The attitude of your council, who chose to argue with people with so little time on our hands, reflects the leadership and the attitude of your leadership. And the attitude of the people reflects the leadership of you all. And the fish rots from the head. In many real ways, Yonkers is reflecting what is going on a national climate of the emotional intelligence of the citizens of this country. And that is the result of decisions you make and how you make them. Everyone says it and just hopes that no one's actually listening. When we say it's all about who you know for success these days, you cherry pick who and when you talk to. When it comes to decisions, you should have the decency to address them with your people in person, to lead their emotional compass, to understand whatever change you envision for them, and sustain peace. And gentrification is violence against natives and always has been. If your council has failed, it's because you have failed to simply inspire them enough to share the vision from the rooftops, to campaign the change door to door with the native residents of your city.
Let's see if you could just wrap up your comments, please.
Yes, and in closing, you're promoting and rewarding people for the disregard of Native people. And to perpetuate this multi-layered consciousness that you probably don't have to live with is mean. To hold careers and deliberately unfinished contracts over the heads of people who actually care about the city in this time of inflation and recession is cruel and evil. And it's not going to be about you when people of Yonkers learn about what happened here tonight. It's going to be about their right to vote. It's not going to be about you, Mayor Spano. It's going to be about their human right to vote, which you have now revoked for a second time. Yonkers cannot afford another human rights lawsuit or the real-life consequences of actively violating human rights. Thank you for allowing me to share. Have a great evening.
Mayor, the next speaker is Larry Wilson.
What?
Larry Wilson.
Sit down. Honorable Mayor, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Larry Wilson. I'm president of the Hyatt Community Association of Southeast Yonkers. The views I express tonight are not necessarily those of Hyatt Association, but of mine personally. So I was kind of surprised to see the emotions, and I'm surprised to see you know, pushing and shoving up here. It's an important issue, but I think that we can air our views without that. I'm hoping anyway. It's an important issue, and I believe that as far as the referendum goes, I believe that the mayor is going to face the voters anyway. That is a referendum in my view. There's been considerable discussion about the power of the incumbency. Well, with all the publicity now that this issue has gotten and will get going forward, I believe that that negates a lot of that power of the incumbency, so-called. I believe that the mayor, of course, is going to face the voters, and I believe he's going to win. He's going to win because he's a popular mayor. He's a popular mayor because he's doing a great job. It's really, it's that simple. You talk to, I know that he has his detractors, okay, and I know that there are people that, you know, that want something out of this whole process. For the record, I never worked for the city of Yonkers. I never had a government job, period, and I don't really intend to have one. I'm self-employed. I've been in Yonkers since 1950. I'm a landscape contractor. The mayor even fired me a couple of years ago because I was charging him too much money. So I should have an axe to grind, right? But I love the guy because he's doing a great job. It's that simple. And I believe that the voters and the people of Yonkers will be very well served with an additional term from Mike Spano. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Larry. Get around, I see Dr. Larry.
Thank you again.
That's it. So Mayor, we do not have any other speakers signed up this evening. There are no other speakers signed up. Mayor, I failed to mention earlier that our office has received correspondence, and the correspondence has been delivered to your office.
All right, so is there anybody else here who might speak in favor of this local law? Is anybody else here who can hear me, would like to speak in favor of this local law? Is anybody here who would like to speak in favor of this local law? Hearing none. Is there anybody here who would like to speak against this local law? Is there anybody here who would like to speak against this local law? Is there anyone here who would like to speak against this local law? And you have correspondence for favor against this local law?
We do, Mayor, and as I said earlier, we have delivered it to your office.
With that, it's now 5:51 p.m. and I'm going to end the public hearing. Thank you.